Some people, when they lack a point, they have to use props. And some of them, the props that they use are some of the most asinine ones you could think of. In this case, we have one individual who does just that. And the prop he's using are children. Now, some people might think today that's not far-fetched. Everybody on the left uses children as props anymore. Well, we got a different take on this particular individual, and he has to the tune of 3 million followers on Facebook. Michael Baisden is a supposed author. When you see the kinds of books he writes, you'll understand why he has the kind of following he has, majority of them being desperate women. Now, if I were him, I can see the market being rife for his books to make all kinds of money and to come across as the savior of all women. See, he writes these, what you call Harlequin romance type books for black women, and he uses it to get into their good graces, and on top of that, to try and promote political agendas. Now, if that was all he did, no problem, fine and dandy, man, use your grift, whatever you got to do. But he had to take it one step further. Not only was the example he used based on a lie, but he had to try and stoke the heartstrings of the people that naturally follow him to promote a narrative that's untrue. In a recent post, he took something from somebody else's page, posted it on his of 2 little boys coming up to greet each other, one black, one white, and they were just playing together happily. His statement was as follows. This is what Trump fears most. The nightmare. This is his worst nightmare. Americans loving diversity. Vote blue for hope, joy, and togetherness. My question is this. Isn't the people that you're asking us to vote the same ones that want to end the life of these diverse children right after they exit the womb? And a lot of the times while they're still in the womb? Aren't these the same people? Hear me out. The exact same people pushing to have these children dismember themselves when they become a certain age? Aren't these the same people hoping to get these young kids injected with things to help them no longer be the gender they were born? Where's the hope and love and diversity there? Oh, I get it. It was only diverse when it fits a certain agenda of the people who push everything sexual. You know, Michael, if I didn't know any better, I would think that you have a propensity not for diversity, but for children. And not just children by having them because you don't seem to have any. You seem to just be a single man going around doing whatever you want with whichever women you can get into bed with. But you seem to be the kind of person that is willing to use children to push a certain narrative, especially when all your content is about is sex. In one post, you said, why don't people let out their inner freak? Which freak are you? I would have to start wondering a little bit about your tendencies. Secondarily, why would you use children that have nothing to do with the context you're using? Why would you have that as your main premise? Last time I checked, both political parties have people of all genders, have people of all races in them. You just happen to be the ones that like to overlook the other side. We are fully well aware that there are black Democrats, white Democrats, Asian Democrats, straight, gay, male, female Democrats. Your party is the only one that can't identify what you really are, but want us to be the ones that is diverse like you when you're not even sure what you are to be diverse from. You see, our biggest problem here is this. Using the children as a prop, especially when they have no concept of what's going on, is not Trump's biggest fear. And it's not his nightmare. Nor is it the people on the right's nightmare. You see, because we do not focus on who's black and who's white. We understand there are black and whites, but we don't focus on that. Your people are the only ones that do that. You're the ones pushing the separation. You're the ones telling everybody they're so different while telling them they're all alike. But for some reason, when they don't think like you, then they will never be like you. Isn't that the whole purpose of diversity? To not be like each other? So which is it? Do you want diversity, or you only want diversity of skin and universality thinking of thought? So we have to think like you even though we don't look the same. But in thinking like you, we have to make sure that we don't look the same. But when you harp on looking different, that's not diversity. Or is it? You see how confusing your way of thinking is? Over here, it's just, if you treat me with respect, I treat you with respect. I don't care what color you are. That simplifies things, doesn't it? But again, since all of your thought process is devoted to the kink and to what people do in their bedroom, I can fully understand why you can't make logic out of this. Especially when you try to introduce children into your kinky mix of things on your page. But hey, then again, your party, your people are the ones who want to make sure children are mentally unstable so you can have your way with them. We fully understand it. 100%. It makes a whole lot more sense. But here's my advice. Stop using children as props. You see those two little boys? They're not thinking about Trump. They're not even thinking about Biden. All they're thinking about is, woo, that dude hair look cool. Ooh, look at my friend. They're just hanging out. You're the one that had to make this about race. Neither one of those two care. You as the adult need to bring in a whole bit of contention to prove a point that you don't have. There are tons of things I can say about you, but the one that stands out the most is this. You would be nothing without identity politics. You'd have nothing to offer anyone if you didn't have vitriol. You would have an absolute dead-end career and life if you didn't have somebody's ego to stroke to even fulfill your own. And that's a sad life to live. But it's par for the course for the left. We can see it. But please, please, leave children out of this.